Welcome back to the News Media. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the former impeached Deputy President Gachagua have once again addressed the government of President William Samoei on his Facebook page after the by-election that happened on 16th July, Thursday, 2026. And before I read for you Gachagua's statement on his Facebook page, please ensure that you like the video. When you like the video, you automatically show us your support on what I'm doing on this platform. So please, as you watch, consider liking our videos. Thank you so much for that support of the like. Let me read for you regarding Gachagua's statement that are totally scared the government of President William Samoei within the security chiefs in this country of Kenya. Mr. William Samoei and his homeboys have gone berserk. Tempers are flying, but Kenyans are more annoyed and in pain than ever before since independence. Totally rejected by the people of Kenya, they have mobilized rogue police officers and goons to terrorize the very people who gave them power and who pay taxes through the nose, yet there is nothing to do.
These allegations of some other persons who are causing havoc in the Olkalau must be investigated thoroughly, and anyone who is culpable must be arrested, regardless of their what they were doing and who deployed them to Olkalau. Whether they were deployed by the Inspector General and they went and misbehaved.
During Olkalau by-election this week, Kenyans were horrified and held their breath in disbelief as hooded police officers and goons in broad daylight and even in full view of cameras terrorized innocent voters in Olkalau constituency, Nyandarua County, killing one person and critically injuring 20 others in a futile attempt to force people to vote for UDA candidate, but it failed flat, which is true.
Away men believed to be police officers, traveling in private vehicles, wearing balaclavas, dressed as civilians and armed. NTV, Daily Nation and Taifa Leo teams were on the ground the entire time, reporting minute by minute. Earlier, we caught Mathira MP Eric Wamumbi being blocked by residents from entering Huruma polling station in his vehicle. That report enraged the MP so much that he called one of the Taifa Leo editors and threatened them directly, warning that journalists will lose their cameras.
What it looks like right now.
Every development aired live on NTV and our online platforms. It wasn't long before a convoy of luxury vehicles.
They shoot at innocent Kenyans from the rooftop of high-end survive, something that has never been witnessed anywhere in the world. Even Haiti is shocked by their student, Mr. William Samoei, from an East African nation.
Then V8 rolled in and scattered journalists and residents alike. Masked men in civilian clothing, armed, fired shots into the air and lobbed tear gas canisters. These were the same men who tore cameras, phones, and equipment from NTV journalists, beating them and shocking them with electric tasers. As this unfolded, the Nation Media Group Board of Directors condemned the attack in the strongest terms possible. In a statement from the board, Chairman Joe Muganda says, I quote, "I call upon the relevant authorities to move swiftly to investigate this incident. It is an attack not only on members of our staff, but also on the principles of press freedom and the public's right to receive timely and accurate information." End of quote.
National Police Service is yet to respond to the chaos unleashed by the groups of armed, hooded men in Olkalau, with Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen saying the incidents are under investigation.
These allegations of some other persons who are causing havoc in the Olkalau must be investigated thoroughly.
Violence in Olkalau.
Judging by what we have witnessed today in Olkalau, it is very clear and evident that Kenya is not ready for the general elections next year. IEBC are ill prepared, and particularly the police are not ready to maintain safety and security during election day.
Journalist safety has deteriorated in recent times, with reporters attacked by hooligans in the presence of security agencies and at times by police officers themselves. Laban Shaban, NTV.
This is where we have gotten as a nation, where Kenyans are willing to die to protect their vote and their rights. Unfortunately, this regime cannot smell coffee. It was the highest height of impunity as uniformed police officers watched the rogue officers in the attack shock.
Now to another story. There's heightened tension in Olkalau hours after voting concluded because of groups of armed hooded men who stormed Olkalau Comprehensive School and SC Primary School, lobbing tear gas canisters and assaulting journalists in a bid to disperse crowds that had gathered outside the polling center. The hooded men, armed with firearms and batons, were traveling in Toyota Land Cruiser vehicles and tried to disperse onlookers gathered outside polling stations, raising concerns among residents who seemed to have little trust in government security agencies and their role in the by-election process. Seth Olale reports on the chaotic twist that overshadowed an initially peaceful and calm voting exercise in Olkalau.
Hooded, armed and mobile characterized the description of unidentified men who violently took over Olkalau even as voting was still underway. Armed with firearms and batons, traveling in Toyota Land Cruisers and Prado vehicles, the group terrorized onlookers gathered outside polling stations by firing tear gas canisters in the full glare of uniformed police officers. The unidentified men are also reported to have assaulted journalists and confiscated their equipment. Among those affected were the star photographer Enos Teche and NTV cameraman George Kieru, whose cameras were reportedly seized during the violent confrontations.
Kuna gari ya polisi pale juu.
At AC Primary School in Olkalau town, the hooded men were seen confronting youth near the polling station. Witnesses say tear gas canisters were fired from vehicles accompanying the group, triggering panic among voters and residents. Outside Olkalau Comprehensive School, journalist Enos Teche of the Radio Africa Group was injured during the confrontation after armed and hooded men traveling in 5 SUVs, escorted by a smaller vehicle, assaulted him and confiscated his camera as police officers watched.
Gai manga inekia yoma. Cheki venye zinaingia. Gaima kila.
NTV cameraman George Kieru also reportedly had his camera confiscated during the incident, with Nation Media Group through a statement condemning the incident, demanding swift investigations to bring those responsible to justice and to take the necessary measures to ensure the safety and security of journalists covering matters of public interest. NMG further stating, and I quote, "The assault on our journalist, during which an NTV cameraman was tased, beaten and his camera seized, while a Nation reporter was threatened at gunpoint and had a mobile phone forcibly taken, is an attack not only on members of our staff, but also on the principles of press freedom and the public's right to receive timely and accurate information. An attack on journalists is an assault on the public's right to know." The National Police Service is yet to respond to the chaos unleashed by the groups of armed, hooded men in Olkalau, with Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen saying the incidents are under investigation.
These allegations of some other persons who are causing havoc in the Olkalau must be investigated thoroughly.
Earlier in the day, Central Region Commissioner Joshua Kanatha had warned that any vehicle found
Local command had been instructed not to interfere with the activities on the rogue squad. Police officers, the resident of Nyandarua, as well as the journalists who were attacked, are horrified to hear the juvenile CS in charge of Gunism and coordination of state terror, telling Kenyans yesterday that Olkalau was very peaceful, yet people were injured. Yesterday, he ignored and pretentiously argued that he was disappointed that nobody was praising the police for keeping the peace in Olkalau constituency and Arua County. This young man, excited by power and the abrupt, obnoxious and primitive accumulation of wealth, taxpayers' money, is taking Kenyans for fools. He thinks we are him. He is calling for investigation into isolated cases, but we know they won't happen because he is not one authorized and financed the attack. Not unless he is inciting the police to investigate him, and those who dare, I'm sorry, they might disappear. He knows the vehicle ferrying the attackers belonging to one of Kawanjiku, who was captured on the video, directing and commanding the attack. Bwana CS for Gunism, Kenyans are not fools. This is a press statement from Gachagua on his Facebook page after the Olkalau by-election that happened this week on Thursday, 16th July 2026, where some innocent Kenyans were injured, others were abducted, arrested, tortured, because UDA was being defeated during that Olkalau by-election, which is true. Yesterday, even me, I was shocked when Ruto was saying that there was a peaceful by-election in Olkalau, yet people are being beaten. There was a lot of intimidation in Olkalau. There was only peaceful on the side of UDA and other another political party candidate like Jubilee, PM, and other candidates that also have their candidate in Olkalau during the by-election. See you in the next video, ladies and gentlemen. That is what I prepared for you. I wanted you to understand what is still happening with regard in Olkalau constituency, where Gachagua is still dropping some bombshell after defeating William Samoei. That is now raising a serious alarm within the Mount Kenya region for some Mount Kenya PSS, CSS, and Mount Kenya UDA leaders for failing to tell William Samoei the truth concerning to what was happening on the ground, because it is being said that the reason why Ruto was defeated in Olkalau is because Ruto did not listen to the ground, which is true. Ruto hakusikiza ground, and that is something that led to his defeat. Alisadhani tu atakipeana pesa, mambo itakuwa sawa. Tukutane kwa video itakayofuata, upenzi watazamaji wa Daniz Media. Remember to subscribe, comment, share the video, like, and don't forget to turn on notification bell for more updates daily. Thank you so much for that great support of the like.